Welcome to the Little Big Business Podcast.
So you saw my cocktail masterclass set up. His wife reached out to me, sent me a message and said,
Hello everybody, welcome to the Little Big Business Podcast. I am your host, Danny Hollywood of Danny Hollywood Video Drone Photo, your international award-winning video and photo team. But like the first episode, this podcast is nothing to do with me. It is about my wonderful guest. And today I have somebody that I've only met really recently, and I absolutely love this man and his work. So we're going to have an awesome chat today. Welcome, Jacques Parker of Zoho Mobile Cocktail Bar. Yeah!
You got there.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to having a good chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. And mate, so good to have you on. Because obviously, the first podcast was very cool in terms of having someone on that I know quite well.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's cool to get to know you. Bit more, yeah, because actually even I don't know some of the stuff that you're probably going to talk about today. Yeah, so obviously it's going to be cool for me too, because I'm going to learn about you as much as the viewers are going to watch and find out stuff about you, etc., etc. Definitely. Yeah. So first thing I want to talk about, we talked about it off screen, but we're going to delve in a bit further. Jacques, or Jacques. Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah. So. Obviously, cool, funky, quirky name.
Yeah, well, my mum's from Paris, so that's where the French name comes from. My brother, funnily enough, is actually called James, which is the English version of Jacques, so which is not Jack, it's James. Cool. Me and my brother have the same name in a weird way.
Yes. That's cool. I like that. Yeah. Nice. Cool. Okay, so I think obviously, naturally, the title and the business name, which I think is a winner, yes, because I think, trust me, I know that there's businesses out there that if I could, I'd slap them on the wrist a bit.
Yeah.
You've got to do something about that name.
Yeah.
Because if you aren't easy to find, then how are people going to find you?
Yeah, that's it. I wanted to go for something like short, sweet, memorable, a name that maybe, or a word that even I don't think exists. So I quite like Soho in London, and they've got some really quirky bars around there. So I just thought, let's go for something, like that. That's like short, sweet, memorable, and then Zoho just came up in my head. And then I thought, let's roll with that. That sounds great.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, getting a business name, I'm lucky that I fell into mine. Yeah, and mine landed in my lap. I had that nickname, Danny Hollywood, because obviously, FYI, everybody, my surname's not Hollywood. My surname is Holland.
I only discovered that yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. But nobody knows me like that anymore. Yeah, everyone just calls me Danny Hollywood. Because my background was YouTube. So when I became a YouTuber, it was natural that it just became Danny Hollywood, and then it evolved from there and obviously just took off and Danny Hollywood Video Drone Photo. Yeah. It's a hell of a mouthful, but people know me and know who I am. So, and that's the key, isn't it? 100% the key. So, so we've met because we are part of, now I did speak about this in the first podcast where I talked about a well-established wedding network. Now, I didn't mention it by name purely because Mark used to be a member of that network and now isn't, but I still am. So we have become friends and met each other because we are part of the North Devon Wedding Network.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a great network to be a part of. I actually, funnily enough, first came about the network through, what it was is when I first started my bar, I had these oak barrels and it was too heavy to maneuver around. It was too much. I needed to go for something lighter weight. So I put them up for sale. And Lisa from the Gatehouse came out and popped up and said, "Oh yeah, I'll have them." And then when I had a really long chat with her on her driveway, because I didn't know she was a bar at that time as well. And she was giving me some tips and tricks and kind of like welcoming me with open arms into the industry, which is nice. And then obviously I think she mentioned that she was part of the Wedding Network group. And then I had another friend who knows, is it the performer Mark? Is it Mark, the one with the beard?
Oh, Tom Cooper.
So sorry, I don't know why I said Mark.
There's a lot of humans, isn't there?
His wife reached out to me and sent me a message and said, my husband is a part of the wedding network, you should join. And then I was like, actually, that sounds like a great idea. So that's when I messaged Jacques, and I said I would love to be a part of your group. And then obviously, for the pure fact that I already knew Lisa was really great. That I made kind of an alliance or like a good friendship with them. Yeah.
Nice. No, it's really cool. Yeah, because obviously I know Lisa well as well. Absolute legend. Yeah, she is wicked. Just a lovely lady. Just had her latest daughter. Yes. So I'm not losing the plot here. Sorry, Lise. I did know that. It's just that naturally I'm just all over the shop at the moment. So congratulations, and we cannot wait to meet the little one. Absolutely. Hopefully at the next meeting.
Yes.
That'd be good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's nice as well that we kind of form an alliance, because a lot of there's some other bars that I reached out to just to in the local area, just to be like, look, if you ever need a hand, if you ever need equipment, you ever need help, I'm always here to help. Because in my eyes, when I started the business, I didn't see everyone as competition, as like, oh God, I got to, one up them and I got to be enemies with them or anything like that. For me, it was like, let's all work together and make friends and all help each other kind of thing. And that's exactly what Lisa does.
What a very healthy and refreshing way to look at it. Yeah. And I do think that's possibly, I know we just discussed off camera, you're 8 years younger than me. I thought you were younger than that. Yeah, because you're a refreshingly handsome young man.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Yeah, right, absolutely. And I did think, I thought you were a bit younger, but I mean that in the most nice.
Oh no, way. I'm definitely taking that. I like it when people say that.
Because obviously you've got young person energy. Yeah,
Was it the skateboard?
Yeah. So off camera, you don't know. So this man rocked up on an electric skateboard, and I was like, that's cool. Yeah, because that's also my bag, but I'm a little bit too old for that these days.
Which is funny because you were talking about pet peeves last time, and I was like, oh God, maybe I shouldn't show up in a skateboard.
You're not an old man on a skateboard.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You're not even in the 30 bracket yet. You've got this.
I've got a few years left of the skateboard, and then I'm going to have to throw it.
Cool vibes about you. You're all good, 100%. No, it was, it's a cool thing that you brought in, but 100%. No, I got to say that, personally I do as well. I do very much enjoy the network. What I do like about it naturally is, with the whole idea that we're completely self-employed. Now I am lucky that I do have two wonderful disciples, but I don't see them unless I need them.
Yeah.
So obviously when it comes to that, it's like I am 99% of the time, it's just me. Now, don't get me wrong, because I said in the last podcast that I am I'm a comfortable loner. Yeah. I don't mind my own skin and my own company. And I do have, obviously I have a lovely wife and a wicked kid, and I've got her wicked family. So I have more than enough to cater for any time I do want to be with people and be sociable. I know that being a bit of a loner doesn't really suit my personality, because people would not, I bet that shocked a few people when I said that last week, in terms of that I am a bit like that, but I'm comfortable with it. Because at the end of the day, I am happy in my own skin. But naturally, being part of that network gives us colleagues. Yes,
it does, which is the best part about it. Like, I feel it's really weird, because in one way, we're all in the same industry. We're all doing the same thing, but at the same time, we're doing complete opposite, different things. But yeah, it's so lovely to meet everyone. I think in a weird way, in a sad way, I actually really look forward to all the meetings. It's like really exciting. And I learn something every single time. And, you know, everyone's like Sam from the Hog Roast. The last time I was there, she was like, oh yeah, you should reach out to this person, talk about these events, go do this thing. And then you kind of give other people your knowledge about, sites that I've joined that they haven't joined yet. And, it's just really great. It's just, and that's what it's all about. It says it in the name, networking, and that's what we're all doing.
Yeah. I know that because obviously I have quite a few friends that obviously got loads of friends within the network, and then I've got friends outside of it. And I know a few suppliers that are wicked, wonderful people, but they poo on the network a little bit. Yeah. They say it's not a great place to be. But subsequently, all those people are the same people that they can't get into the network. Yeah. Because obviously, just FYI, because of that, we do have a 2-supplier policy. Yeah. Just so that we don't get flooded. Yeah. Yeah, we don't get absolutely inundated with, cool, right, we've got... how many photographers are out there? I've just recently been to Balfour West Showground for the big Southwest wedding show, and they told me that they've got 140 photographers on their list. They have 10 per show. Yeah. So they've got to turn that around. Yeah. And so you can imagine why you do really need to have a limit. With a view of we have venues that have more, but in the same breath, it's one of those that it works if you're in and it doesn't if you're not. It's really tricky, but it is what it is. You know, we're both in it, so we're the lucky ones. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. No, I definitely think it's nice naturally because you've got people that obviously they're in your field. They know your trials and tribulations. They know what's going on with you. They know the difficulties you might face. They also, from my experience, there will be multiple people like you're talking about. So you were talking about Sam. That's Sam of North Devon Hog Roast. Yeah. So Sam and Andy, again, really good friends of mine.
They are amazing.
Just because if you meet them and you're not friends with them, that's you that's a problem. Yeah. Because they are the nicest humans. So if you aren't friends with them, you should probably have a look at yourself as opposed to looking at them. Yeah, because they are the most giving people, aren't they? And that doesn't shock me at all that they went, we can help.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
They are those people.
They
100%. And hopefully, hence why you're my second guest on this pod. Yeah? Because obviously, I do want... Yes, okay, I want people within the network. I don't just want wedding people. That's the only thing that I'm going to be cautious about when I'm doing this pod. I do want a variety of businesses. But at the same time, okay, yes, you do weddings, but you don't just do weddings. No. Weddings are, I think, when you're in the wedding industry, I definitely know this, that I get caught up in... I'm a wedding videographer, I'm a wedding photographer. And yes, that's a core of what I do, but I'm not just that. Yeah. I do so much more that's commercial, but I just don't make such a big a song and dance about that. Yeah. Because it's people's privacy. I do a lot of property work, for instance. Now, obviously, to a point, I can't really, although I'd like to, and I can in bits, and I kind of more do it on stories because it has expiry dates. I can't really showcase someone else's property on my pages.
Yeah. I didn't even know you did that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So obviously, because you've got to be a bit gentle, that's someone's house. Yeah. And obviously, once they've sold it, it's someone else's house. And then I've got a video of their house on my website. Yeah. So I have got 2 on there. Now, luckily, one of them is my grandmother-in-law's property. So naturally, I've got a bit of I got the ability to share that one. And the other one was a Grand Design's property that there's no way I'm not showcasing that on my website. But they're the only 2 because I do have to be delicate. Yeah. Yeah, because obviously privacy. Yeah. Nobody tells me I have to give privacy. And obviously in the eyes of the law, I can do what I want with that because I hold the copyright. The moment I shoot anything, the copyright's mine. So if it ever went to anything, I could be like, well, I shot it, so I hold the copyright. But naturally, I'm just realistic about it. Yeah, it's someone else's house. do I really want to be sharing that content on my stuff? Yeah, absolutely. One thing I am going to do, which I've just done, I've just turned my phone on silent because I edited it out in the last one. But last one, because I have my ring, because I'm on the 3rd floor. So naturally, like you did, you rang my bell and it took me quite a while to get to you, yeah? Because it rings on my phone and then I've got to go all the way down those stairs. So I'm...
And there I am thinking, oh, he's probably in the toilet. Like,
yeah. Absolutely. Cool. So obviously you run a mobile cocktail bar.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
So, how it all came about. Well, everyone that knows me, all my friends know that whenever there was a party, whenever something happened, I was always the guy that made the drinks. No one asked me to. I just showed up. I just showed up with it because I came up with these crazy just drinks that like they were mostly just punches, jungle juice, that kind of stuff. It wasn't just like cocktails. And everyone always thoroughly enjoyed it. We always get through it, and then I would be in the doghouse with everyone the day after.
Why is my hangover so bad? What did you do? What did you do?
There was a year on Bideford Quay that we celebrated New Year's Eve on, which is always a great place to go. Yeah. And I got these watermelons and made these like Jello vodka kind of watermelon things, just as I'm a celebrity, getting me out of here, people. So yeah, cool. It was really good fun. But yeah, everyone that like when I came up with the business, and I thought, right, this is kind of what I want to do. Everyone was just like, yeah, that sounds about right. Because I don't know, like I don't know.
Shoe fits.
I don't know what it is, because something's just like I'm just so interested in and intrigued in just the whole kind of mixology side of things. Like it's just really, really good fun. And obviously when I obviously decided what I wanted to do, the very first thing that I did before I even started planning anything on the business was USPs. I need, before I even begin to even bother with doing anything, I need USPs, because I just thought if I don't have a reason for people to come to me over other people, then there's just no point. Yeah. And a great example that I learned off of was someone that I know, which is a great guy. But he basically was fortunate enough to be in a situation where he had a bunch of money, and they were like, right, and he was thinking, right, let's make something of this. But he chose to do a cafe. And I remember saying to him, no, don't do a cafe, because there's so many of them and you've got way too much competition. And he said, no, this is what I want to do. And I said, okay, if it's what you want to do, you have to have a USP. If you don't have a USP, just don't bother. Yeah. And he decided not to. He just wanted his, plain and simple cafe to himself. He opened it up, and obviously he didn't get any customers, lost thousands of pounds, and he had to shut again. But I even suggested to him like board games and cafe, like maybe some like do some funky thing on the menu. I don't know, but yeah. So it was a good example as well to look back at and think, right, I need something that's gonna stand out. So I did. I thought, right, let's brainstorm. I thought, little things like let's offer free Wi-Fi wherever I go on the bar. And I thought, let's qualify up. Let's take a mixology course and, invest all into that. So then I have a better understanding of cocktails, and I'm more knowledgeable, and I can continually improve myself, which I went to Mixology School UK in Brighton. Amazing people. They taught me so much and opened my mind to a whole new world of things which I didn't even know existed. And I also thought a really great USP was that every single bar needs a hookup. Every single bar needs to be connected to electric and connected to water. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if I was self-sufficient and I needed none of those things to be hooked up? So I got myself a water tank, a fresh water tank, popped it in, got myself a solar panel on the roof and a big lithium battery. So everything runs off of the sun, renewable energy, which is another USP within itself. And I just thought, and then it makes it easier I just want to make things easier for whoever books me. They don't have to worry about me. They can put me wherever they want. They don't have to plan anything with me. just show up and I do my thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's because I didn't even know that. That's wicked, and that is so applicable to where we're at in society. You know, where we are in need of, you know, looking after this place a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely.
And people would 100% book you off the strength of that.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So you're talking about USPs. There it is.
And like, I forgot what I was going to say now. You know when you're about to say something and you just go blank? I was about to go into a spiel and I was like, yeah, so, and I was like, wait, hang on a minute. It was just there. It was just there.
Yeah. That's right. We can always come back to it. If it pops in there later on, we'll go with it. We're all good. Right. Cool. Okay. Mark, so great. So you have a mobile bar. It's self-sufficient. It's very environmentally friendly. You do. Now, I've seen we talked about this again, just off camera a little bit. And it was more about, so lately we've done a couple wedding shows together. And because we've only met recently in the last couple of months, I got a flavour and a feel for where you are, in terms of how you want it to be, the standard you're trying to set.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So you saw my cocktail masterclass setup, which is one of the packages I offer. I basically do open bar, cash bar, and tab bar. And then alongside of that is the cocktail masterclasses. Now, originally, I wasn't actually going to do that. That wasn't my plan. But when, funnily enough, the very first time going back to speaking to Lisa from the Gatehouse Trailer Bar, she actually was the first person to say, oh, you should definitely do this. You should do it. And I was like, yeah, you know, maybe in the future, maybe next year, once I'm like more established and, you know, I'm kind of in the scene. But then when I went home, she planted a seed in my head, and then I was thinking about it a bit more and more, and I've kind of done some research into it. And then I quickly realized that, wow, actually, I can definitely do this. I can probably do this really good as well.
Nice.
So I started kind of planning these cocktail masterclass packages, and then before you know it, she was the person that sent me over my first customers. They went to her and they were like, oh, can we have a cocktail masterclass? And Lisa was like, I don't do this, but I do know someone. I know a wizard. So she sent them over to me. It was a huge cocktail masterclass. It was a hen do. And there was so many of them. I think there was like 30 of them. And we had the best time. It was so much fun. It was amazing. I taught them obviously how to make the basic cocktails, showed them basic techniques to use, and you know, gave them an understanding of what cocktails are and what makes a good tasting cocktail and what makes a balanced cocktail, etc. And you know, I actually thought like, oh, what if they ask me like really complicated, complex questions that I'm not sure of? Because as a mixologist, you're always continually learning. You will never know everything ever, and that's what I love about it too. But you know, they asked me questions what to them were really complex and maybe deep, but to me, I was just like, oh yeah, no, this is like completely like basic knowledge for me. So like it was great that we could have fun all whilst dipping our toes into the world of mixology and kind of introducing that to everyone.
And that 100% is why you go and get somebody like you. Yes, because you know, I would ask those same stupid questions. And I just would, because mixology to me is, and it isn't because obviously I don't particularly drink, but at the same time, in the past when I did, it would be a vodka and a Coke. That is the limitations of my skill. That is a cocktail for me, especially as a bloke. Whereas that idea that actually, not only are you having fun, you're creating something that they can also drink, which is obviously naturally when you're dealing with hens or weddings or major events, naturally people will want something from it at the end of it, as well as a wicked experience and that knowledge base, But naturally, you're giving them somewhat skills in which they can go away afterwards, and they can go home and they can actually make desirable drinks.
From what they've learned.
From what they've learned. And that's what you get when you go to a professional.
But funnily enough, at the end, I actually get them to play a really fun game where I basically become judge, and I judge them on a few different categories. The name of the cocktail, which everyone comes up with a hilarious personal joke to the bride usually. I judge them on the appearance of the cocktail, and then also the taste, and then basically let them go crazy. Luckily enough, I've stopped some tremendous, what are about to be horrors of drinks, but because like,
what is this?
They were. I think one person was just
Lovely.
This is great. Well done.
Well done.
Yeah, no. I stopped one of them from mixing. What was it? Rose tequila, which is a very creamy drink, basically the same kind of texture as Bailey's, Irish cream liquor, and mixing that in with some Prosecco or something like that, and I was like, whoa, no. I was like, that's going to be a big curdly mess. I was like,
yeah, you're going to have to eat that rather than drink it, and we don't want that. That's no good. That is no good. No, awesome. Cool, okay. Right. Let's talk. Cool, okay. So, definitely in the early stages for me, naturally you learn by mistakes. Yeah, you listen to any successful business owner and they're always going to say the same thing, that you have to make mistakes because mistakes are the way you learn and you naturally become better. Especially when you make those mistakes, because once you made them, you know how to correct them, and that's kind of something that I sort of say whenever I go to wedding shows now, is I don't really talk about that bit. I talk about that bit. Yeah, I talk about the fact that when it goes horribly wrong, I can fix it in an instant, as opposed to if I was to show you one of my cameras and I was to go, right, that's the back. Yeah. And you see all the buttons and all the little dials you can press, and then I was to go and then give it back to you. Yeah. You might take an hour, because you might, and the difference between me and you would be is that I would have that fixed within 30 seconds. Yeah. And that's why you book someone like me to do that bit. Yeah, because when it goes wrong, I can fix it. Yeah. So obviously in your notes that you've sent me, you have talked about, early mistakes.
Yes. So that's the thing, isn't it? Like you just said, if you don't make mistakes, then you're not going to learn from them and you're not going to better yourself. So, I mean, one of the first big events I did was doing an outdoor cinema, and it was as in doing the outdoor cinema was great, but like I made a mistake in there. So what I did was, it's probably going to be really busy. So I made a pre-assumption, and I thought, right, let's pre-make a whole bunch of cocktails. And I quickly realized afterwards that I've just taken half of the whole experience away from people. Like, I've pre-made a cocktail, so they're not going to see the theatrics in front of them. I'm not going to make it up in front of them. It's not going to feel better or good. Not only that, but I made a huge ton of wastage, and I just thought to myself, I just scrapped a lot because I made more than I thought I was going to sell. So I made a pact on myself that from that moment onwards, I would just basically make everything on the spot, keep the service up high, and just not do that. And if I think it's going to be busy, or if I think I'm not going to be able to keep on top of it, then simply just get someone else or find another person. Because the thing is with me is that I can't just find a barman. I need someone that specifically knows how to make their cocktails. So it's a bit more difficult to find. But obviously, if I do have a big event from that moment on forth, I'm going to bring someone to work on the bar with me, as opposed to pre-making cocktails and then just basically pouring it from the tap, which I know a lot of other cocktail bars do, and it's just not nice, it's not fun. But another thing when people kind of want to book me is that I feel like I'm a really good price for what I do. I say I feel like I am a really good price for what I do. But there are other bars that are a bit cheaper and that are cocktail bars, and they go for them. But what they don't realize is that those cocktail bars are just pre-make from Tesco's premix. And whereas I'm spending a whole day before making all the preparations to keep everything as fresh as it can be. I'm squeezing all the lemons, I'm squeezing all the limes, I'm doing everything from scratch, fresh, like the way proper cocktails should be made.
Nice.
So I'm actually doing it the best way.
Yes. Yeah. But then you have a level of natural pride.
Yes.
Yeah, in the way that you do it. You know that how you're doing it is in your field the way it should be done. Yeah. And yeah, by all intents and purposes, you are smashing it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really funny is that when I first I launched back in May, and when I had my launch party, it went so well. But I was thinking to myself, right, I need to set a low expectation for myself, but I need to do the best I can, but also not set myself up to be disappointed. Because like my granddad once said, one who expects nothing shall never be disappointed. So I thought to myself, right, I can't expect any bookings this year, like at all. I've got to work really hard and graft for them, but I'm not going to get any. And literally a month after I launched, I just started getting bookings straight off the bat. And I think it really helps as well that the fact that my bar sells itself when people see it, because it looks really unique, and I don't want to sound big-headed. It looks really good. Yeah. So yeah, that's really great. But yeah, I just thought, and ever since then, like my bookings have slowly been going up. It started off with 1 booking a month, and then it went 2 bookings a month, and it's kind of dipped low a bit now. But obviously, you have to expect that because it's season. Yeah.
It can be seasonal, and then naturally that once you get more established, that will even start to dissipate. Yeah. I'm at a point now where I'm still going. I had a wedding yesterday. I've got 6 more to go for the year. I'm all the way up to New Year's Eve. Yeah. So it naturally, I think, as you keep going, and as it keeps going, you will find yourself in a point where actually, okay, cool, your summer's mental, but your winter's still there, and it's still there for you. And then it can be less seasonal, especially Christmas parties, etc., etc. There's definitely a whole new scope to be had there, isn't there? When people can't especially get in somewhere because places are fully booked, and you offer a totally new experience.
Exactly. And another funny thing is when masterclasses, people wouldn't even think they would have them for weddings, but I actually mostly pretty much do that at a venue called Treetop Escape. I have wedding couples that just want a masterclass just for them two alone, and on the wedding day, and I was like, wow, that's actually pretty. That's pretty cool. That's great, because they want a form of entertainment, because sometimes when there's a small group of people, like 10 of them or something, they want that entertainment side to have something to do on the wedding day, and it's really good fun. But that's another like kind of separate thing where you think, oh yeah, there's like a thing there.
So that nicely brings us to the end of part 1. Join us shortly for part 2 of that Business podcast. Cool. Welcome back to part 2 of that Little Big Business podcast with my guest, the owner of Zoho Mobile Cocktail Bar. So close. Absolute nightmare. But it's all good. We're back on track. Cool. Okay. So, let's just talk about some stuff that only you would know. Yeah. So I've got here, the word cocktail, where it originated from.
Okay, I'm going to try to tell this story right, but this may get a bit inappropriate. So this...
Remembering that you can, I said in the last podcast, you can swear. You can be inappropriate. It's absolutely
cool.
fine.
In that case, we can tell the story. So basically, that like everything related to cocktails, there's never a certain answer. It's always theories so there's a few different theories around where the word cocktail came from, like where cocktails originated from, what was the first cocktail. So one of the theories, which to me is the most realistic from association, is basically back in 1803 was the first mention of the word cocktail that we know of. So before then, probably in the late 1700s, when people wanted to sell their horses, stay with me here because I know it's like horses. It's like what's that got to do with cocktails? When people used to sell their horses, they wanted them to look perky and healthy, and they wanted obviously people to buy them, so they would use ginger as a suppository for horses. Okay. And what it would do is it would cock their tail up, which is what the term was originally. So as gruesome as that is, that's what they did. Completely disagree with it, but that's what people did back in the day. So they would, and what that would do is, it would lift their tail up and it would make them look really perky and healthy, and and it would attract people to buy these horses. And people back then, when cocktails were first introduced, said that it gives them the same kind of buzz from having their alcoholic beverages as to what ginger does for horses. So cocking the tail up would then become cocktails as we know today, and that's where what I think is where it came from, which is completely not associated at all, the story with cocktails, but somehow they made the association.
No way. That's yeah. Sticking ginger up a horse's arse turns into alcoholic beverages. Who knew?
There we go.
Who knew? Cool. Right. Another one you got here. The misconception of ice. Oh. What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, so obviously everyone has this big problem with ice and drinks. They're like, I mean, to be fair, if you go to if soft drinks, for example, okay, yeah, if you put a bunch of ice in a glass of Coke, then yes, you're getting less Coke, and therefore maybe the business is saving money, maybe they're doing it as a tactic, who knows. But when it comes to cocktails, ice is the foundation, is the base of what we think is the first cocktail ever created. The whole point of that cocktail was ice. They basically, one of the first cocktails, old fashioned, it's whiskey, bitters, and ice. The whole reason they made that cocktail was, okay, how are we going to make drinking whiskey taste a bit better? Because they just had straight whiskey. So they added a cube of sugar, they added some bitters, they added some ice. They added ice because it diluted the drink to taste better. So yes, some cocktails, spirit forward cocktails, they do have a lot of ice in, but they have it in because it makes it more enjoyable. It's the whole point of
yes, it takes because certainly I'm not, but one of my good friends is a whiskey drinker. Yes. Yeah? And this whole idea of whiskey with 1 cube of ice.
Yes.
Yeah, because 2 is too many. Yeah. And it's just whoa, we're getting anally specific here, like crazy.
But yeah, and then some cocktails just have lots of ice in, and maybe it's not because it's spirit forward drink. There's loads I could go all day about all the different reasons why there are ice in drinks. But a lot of people think that it's a scam and that it's not good and it's bad, but it's actually really good and it improves the cocktail, and it's a part of what makes a cocktail a cocktail. And even if you look at a martini, for example, the whole reason for using ice in that drink, you don't have ice in the martini glass when it's served, but the whole point of having ice in there is to cool down the temperature, make it a lot cold, because obviously it's basically just if you use gin in a martini, it's basically just straight up gin. Yeah. And that at room temperature is quite difficult to drink, whereas if you cool that right down with the ice and chill the glass, it makes it so much smoother. Lowering the temperature of just it, you can easily just drink.
I do think there's something in that, because obviously I will say, obviously I'm not particularly a big drinker, so I've not had many cocktails in my life, because I just haven't, But definitely, when you go on a nice holiday and you're having into a nice warm country where their climate is there, and you're getting beer in a local beer from a iced glass,
Yeah.
it does taste
Yeah.
so much better.
It does. Like cooling the temperature down just like changes the ball game. But obviously, if you go to Spoons and you get a pitcher and it's packed with ice, they're doing that for a money saving tactic, But when it comes to cocktails, let the ice do its thing. It's there for a reason. It's playing a role. Like it's just it.
And I do think this is an age thing. I definitely do, and I do definitely think that. But I remember, so me, my best mate, both my boys actually, best mates. The first time we went to Dante, load of us, and then the second time we went back, we went with some different people. But my best mate was part of that again, and I remember on the last night, basically. Everyone was sort of wanting to go home. We had a busy day. And my best mate was like, and if you were to know my best mate, you'd get this. Yeah. He's a bit of a party animal, loves it. Yeah. And he was like, I might not ever come back here. So I want to stay out. Yeah. And I was like, I'll stay. Everyone else go home. I'll stay. I'm up for this. But I was like, I'll stay out with you, but I have to push that. We need to go somewhere where we control the drinks, yeah? So we're not looking for any crap bar where it's like, oh, you come in here and you get 10 euros for 6 crap drinks, yeah? I was like, I don't want that. Yeah. Now, obviously, it helped that I was going to Zante and I was plus 30. Yeah? So, obviously, I wanted something better. Yeah? And obviously, that's what you provide, isn't it? You provide better quality, better service, better ingredients, and that is what you do, isn't it? So, and I definitely think that the sort of clientele that you would probably, you might attract sometimes a younger crowd, but I can bet you bottom dollar that there's a whole load of your customers would come from that slightly more mature client, someone who maybe is in our sort of age bracket, so you're 28, I'm 36, so hopefully I'm not past it yet. But I would rather spend more money and have a better experience than I would go to Spoons. Because even if for some reason I'm in Spoons, I'll have a better beer or I'll have a better something. If I was to do that, rather than have something that's cheap.
Exactly. Like for me, it's the best of both worlds. Like you get the good prices and you get the good cocktails as well, the great cocktails even. But I guess it's really weird because in terms of younger people, the people that come up for cocktails, they're both like all kinds of people like want a cocktail. But for the older generation, it's just women that order and not men so much. But I feel like with the younger generation, they're a lot more like open to the concept of cocktails and they want them. But in terms of like the men of the generation above me, they're just like, oh no, stick to the beer, stick to the cider, do manly things, the man drinks. It's nice. Like I guess for people that like beer, there are cocktails out there that I think people that like beer would really thoroughly enjoy. And, I guess I'm trying to like make it not something that's just like classy for classy people. Like I want it to be for everyone and be something really fun and enjoyable.
Because I suppose there must be ones out there that are like you're talking about there, that actually, I think maybe when you think cocktail, I think just because we're preconditioned to, we think Blue Lagoon, we think, think Sex on the Beach, we think stuff like that, which is all really high fruit and, well, probably not, but you know what I mean? Like the idea around it is that it's fruity or it's sugary, and I'm sure that you know of a whole host of drinks like that they come away from that, and they are a bit more, like you're saying, a bit more masculine, So a bloke can sit there with a cocktail, actually tastes good, and I know that as a bloke, people like beer, but not all. I say the sometimes that I might have a beer, given that I'm pretty much teetotal, I certainly have a certain acquired taste. Yeah, I like a certain thing. Yeah. I don't like others. And I'm sure, they exist.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think for the men that are of the older generation, they usually go for the whiskey-based drinks because those are the, I guess, it's difficult to word it because you don't want to like say, oh yeah, like women should have this drink and men should have that drink. Like anyone can have any drink, but men of the older generation always go for, if they do have a cocktail, it's the whiskey cocktails. 100%.
Keep up appearances.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it's because they genuinely like that or they're just like, oh no, I need to keep my manliness on me. Like,
my wife would be proud.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So you've got in your notes here something about AI. Now that's interesting because I lean on AI a lot now because naturally there is even AI out there where it will edit this podcast for me. I haven't touched on it yet because I wanted to learn actually because I don't, obviously being so established in this field, I don't get many learning opportunities anymore. So I actually wanted to learn via the first pod that it came out pretty good, I think, but there were still some things that I noticed with it that I was like, I'm not the happiest with that, but it's done now. And hopefully they'll be better for this one.
I feel really conflicted when it comes to the AI thing because in one sense I'm just thinking, no, I need to use my brain. I need to I need to do it all myself. That's what we should be doing. And then another part of me is thinking, I have this help available to me that obviously I've got some cognitive difficulties. I've got dyslexia. I struggle a bit with spelling and reading and, and wording things. I'm not going to lie, I have turned to it a few times, but I don't abuse that power. Like I'm just like, right, I'm going to try and use it as little as I can. I just need help with the way I word a sentence. So I will tell AI exactly what I want to say. Like I'll put all the effort into writing the whole entire thing. But I basically just go, hey, can you just take this and just like touch up the grammar, reword everything, maybe use different words that would make it sound more appealing. And it does. It sends it straight back to me and it's an absolute lifesaver. And it does make a lot of corrections. And that's what I use it for. I don't go, right, I can't be bothered to make this whole like article or whatever. Can you just make one? I don't do that. Like
I know that, because I know that I know, for instance, that LinkedIn is adding this in massively at the moment, where you can basically post a post on there, you can write it, and then the AI will do its thing. Sometimes, which is cool, makes me quite proud actually. I'm not gonna lie, because sometimes you'll write something in there and it spits it back out and it's exactly the same. So it's basically going, you've nailed that. But now, absolutely. But you've definitely, I think, especially in a fast-paced environment, work smarter, not harder. Where you can, naturally. And of course, I don't think that is a negative. I think that is you are aware of a potential weakness, and you are doing active things to work around it, and to accentuate all the positives that you bring to the table, trusting the fact that actually, what I do in this business is flawless, the fact that I might suffer from dyslexia, doesn't interfere with that, so then it's a case of, you're using stuff, and that way you're not being a fraud, are you, in any form or fashion, because you're actually going, I suffer from this and I just use this to help,
to touch up here and there.
Absolutely. And I do think that where we can, I know that everyone's worried that AI is going to take the robots are coming, but I do think you just got to go with it. And at the moment, AI helps me out massively in this business, speeds up my process massively.
Exactly. When it came to the website, I actually used something called Wix, which is like a website builder website. And I got my brother to help me out. So credits to him, and the website looks amazing now. And luckily enough, I didn't, well, no way I there. Like, you know, I did, well, apart from the spelling, obviously, like I said, but yeah, that turned out really well. And then obviously, you know, I've actually had a lot of help, funnily enough, and support from friends and family, which is really great. I've had my mum, which is a huge inspiration to look up to. She's a really hard worker, got a really high work ethic. So that's really great to kind of like follow through to what she does, but obviously in a different area.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously with my launch party and all my friends being there to support me, and you know, basically it was a trial to test out the bar and see what goes well and what doesn't and what I can change, and that just went incredibly well, like fantastic. So obviously, you know, I've done bar work for quite a long time,
Yeah.
But obviously as my own bar, and yeah, and obviously my partner, she is incredible. She's always there for me. She's always like, whenever I'm doing an event, she always wants to come and help and clean the glasses and you know like go collect glasses and things like that. So I'm incredibly lucky to have her helping me as well and supporting me and believing in me and saying, you know, you've got this, you can do it, you know, you're going to smash it.
It's a funny, consistent topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
That I think running your own business, having the gumption and the balls to do it, is a risk. But naturally, if you know you've got people behind you who support it and go, you got this, it naturally, of course it does. Yeah, I bet it does. When you're in a moment where it's like, I'm struggling here, and you just got somebody just to prop you up a little bit. You know, I talked quite candidly last time about my struggles when I launched this, and I will delve in there a little bit more, just in terms of so that off the cuff remark that I made in the last pod, where I was quite open about how it made me feel at the start of the process, and that was purely because I was just overworked. I was doing my full-time job, and I was pushing it so hard this end to get this really going and taking it so that it wasn't just 10 a year, it was a full calendar, so that I could happily walk away and be okay. Doing that was bonkers, and it just sent me, my head was all over the shop, and having those people around you just keeps you on. But I will say, and I do feel like I should say this actually, that that was nothing to do with so anybody who does know where I worked, that was nothing to do with them. They were the best. So I have to say that walking away from paid work to running this full time, I couldn't say anything higher than my previous employer. They were just absolutely wicked. I have been lucky actually that in all the paths I've taken in my career so far have all been pretty good, and I've been pretty happy. But I can't lie, I'm in the best place. I'm personally in the best place I've ever been in my life.
That's good.
This is awesome. I'm very happy, because it's going stupidly well. My little boy, who I'm seeing in a bit because he's coming here for lunch.
Not for another podcast session.
No, I don't think he's ready for that yet. Life is good. But
sorry, carry on.
No, it's all good.
That takes me on to a question with like friends, family, all that kind of stuff. Time management. How do you find the time to do anything, like with you know, having you, for example, who owns your own business and does your own thing? How do you balance time? Because that's one thing I just do not have the luxury of at all.
I suppose I'm very good at is I am quite good at turning it when I'm not working. I'm always working. I'm always on my phone. I'm always answering emails. But when I'm not, I'm really not. And I've learned a skill in terms of how to completely turn it off. and be like, I'm not doing anything work related.
Yeah.
It's become easier having this place because when I'm here, I work, and when I'm not, I don't.
This is your work environment.
This is my work environment now, and that does help without a shadow of doubt. And I'm naturally so much more productive in here because when I converted my garage at home, it's still converted. It's a bloody nice garage now. But naturally, my house is attached, so it was so easy to. I'm tired. I had a wedding yesterday, so I'm quite tired today. At home, what I do is I would have sent my wife and child go to stuff on a Wednesday morning, and I probably would have sat on the sofa and gone to sleep because I've been like, I'm so tired. Whereas here, this morning went mental for me. I shot at a place called Ashbarton. Now, people who are obviously watching this and listening that are from here will know Ashbarton well. It's in Braunton. Lovely venue. Wicked wedding yesterday. A Halloween wedding. Black dress, black suits. You've seen it, haven't you? Because I showed you. Oh, my God. Yeah, oh, my God. That one's going to be a banger. And it's going to be cool because so different. First time I've done one like that, and it's going to be awesome because it's going to be so very, and we've got a fun edit they've asked for, which is going to be wicked. Going to be really good. But what I accidentally did is I left obviously the multiple cameras that we spoke about in the first pod that we've got here shooting this, I needed three of them specifically, and one of them I left at the bloody venue, didn't I? So I got here, I'm backing up all the cameras going, where's that camera? And I'm tracking back going, shit, I know where it is. So I've called Ashbarton and gone, is it there? They found it. I've gone and got it, driven all the way back to Broughton, got back here, and then obviously I've got back up here, started backing up further, and then obviously you've arrived, which is cool. But I was like, I'm not as but you know, just knowing when to slow down and when to stop, because this thing is so fast paced, it goes like crazy. I would say to anybody, if you could be a fly on my wall, you'd know what a day in my world looks like. But I won't lie, the chaos is I love it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I've sort of started coining and catchphrasing this thrive in the chaos. I started saying it the last couple of days, and I love it, and I'm like, I'm having it. I'm having it. I'm gonna start using that a bit more, I think.
Do you know, I always moan about it. I'm like, I don't have time. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, this is just like crazy. I've got too much to do. And deep down, I'm just having the best.
It's good. It's good, isn't it? It's good. Because if you're busy, you know it's working. And that's the way I always look at it. If I know it's mental, you know, because obviously I've got a hell of a queue for wedding edits at the moment. And then I'm shooting this. And I will caveat this with saying that I edit this in my own time. So I will start editing this tonight at like 9 o'clock maybe at home. I don't do this when I'm here. I'm just solely work. I just think trying to switch off. But it's a problem, isn't it? When you do something that you care about and you're passionate about, of course it's gonna grab you, innit? And it's gonna be all that you are. And it's not all that I am. Video and photos aren't all that I am. But what I tend to do is when I'm not working, like sometimes actually I think you said this off camera, and you were like, I bet your wife and family love the fact that you're a professional photographer. And I have got a really cool video that I shot over Christmas Eve and Christmas last year that I haven't edited yet, because actually I'm specifically going to edit it and post it Christmas Day. So it's last year's Christmas Day of just our son. And I reviewed all the footage the other day. I've still got on my computer and was like, that's really cool. Because it's crazy how much, because obviously he's so little, how much he's changed. Because now he's 3 in February, so he wasn't even 2 years old then. And how much that year has transformed for him, and how much more capable he is, how older he looks, how much more personality he's got, how much of a pain in the arse he is. But a good pain in the arse, because if he's not a pain in the arse, he's not being, you know what I mean? Like, he is a bit of he can be a bit of a turd, but he's brilliant, because obviously he's very expressive and he's doing loads of stuff, and that's the kid we want, Exactly. I don't truly want to limit him in any formal fashion, So if he wants to, like, he won't walk anywhere, he wants to run everywhere. Now, there are two sides to that coin, aren't there? That sometimes you want him to walk because you're in a shopping centre, or you're going food shopping, or you're in the high street and there's cars and there's things that you should. Luckily, he's finely tuned enough now that he knows that when we're near roads and things, he holds a hand, and that's the way we get him to walk. Because if the moment we let go, he's off. But the other side of that coin, isn't it, is that if he wants to run, just let him. Because I ran at a really high level. What if he wants to just be a runner? What if he grows up and he's the next gold medalist? Because you don't know. Because you can never know. How can you know? And I just, there's a bit of me when my wife's going, stop running. It goes, just let him run. But then I go, no, I'm also a parent. Stop running. Stop running. Because obviously his safety is of a big issue.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay. You've got here, right? Interesting. Now this would lead nicely into my own side of things in terms of. So you've got here some notes about. You obviously mentioned your mum already, and obviously how she's a huge inspiration to you.
Yes.
Obviously, I said on the last podcast that my first guest was somebody who inspired me because I know I've known him for such a long time and know how hard he works. I will say that someone else inspires me massively is my parents-in-law, my father-in-law, because if I can be the dad that he is to his daughter, then I've nailed it. And my mother-in-law, because she's possibly the strongest woman I know, in terms of whenever I'm stuck and because of the way she's wired, if I've ever got a problem, usually business related, something of that ilk or something I can't do, I go to her. Because I know she'll have an answer. And I love those two to death, even though they're not mine. They feel like mine. They feel like my parents. They're wicked. I love you guys. You're awesome. So well done to you. Well done to you. Absolutely. But you've got notes here of family members telling you not to bother.
Which makes me want to succeed more.
Absolutely.
I won't name names, but there has been a few people, not a few, there's been a couple people that have said, no, don't bother, you might as well go to the job centre and claim benefits. And I'm just thinking, well, now I just want to work harder and do it even more, because now I just want to rebel. Nice. So and now it's going way better than I thought it was going to go. So now I'm just winning. So
yeah. And obviously, I will say this 100% is that I want a whole plethora of people on this podcast, but I'm speaking to people that I either highly respect, highly like, or I think have got the potential to go somewhere, because I'm driven by people who are driven.
Yes.
Because I'm driven.
People feed off of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm driven. I know I am. I know that I will bleed to make this place work, because it's important to me and it means something to me. So I love the fact that you have that same feel about you, that you know what you want to do, you're gonna, and from what I've seen, you're making all the right noises. That's the one thing that I would say. So I know that we spoke about Hawk Barn, a venue, and I'm hoping that they might want to come on at some point. Now, what I say about them is they aren't busy yet.
Yeah.
They're getting there.
Yeah.
But what they are doing is they're making all the right noises.
They've got a lot of exciting plans going.
Yeah, there's so much going on there.
Yeah.
The social media is great. Yeah. Now, what that will eventually turn into is that will turn into success.
Yeah.
It will, absolutely. Because you're doing all the right things. You're putting your best foot forward all the time. You're making all the right noises. You're going to the right places. You're putting in effort.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a shock in terms of there's that link of effort to success.
Yeah. I feel like it's something I always do. You always choose the people you decide to associate yourselves with in life. You decide the people you hang out with. You decide who's going to be involved in your life in terms of friendship and everything. And like growing up, like I've grew up since I was very little in council estates in the rough ends of every single town. And I was told so many times, like, oh yeah, you need to be one of us, which I don't know if I should use this term, but like you can edit it out if you want, but like oh yeah, you've got to be a chav if you want to like get anywhere in life, kind of thing. And I always chose to be like, no, I'm not gonna hang out with the wrong kind of people. I want to hang out with the right kind of people. And obviously even my partner's dad is an incredibly successful businessman that he was in the London Stock Exchange for years, and he's incredibly good at what he does, and he's very driven, and he's very down to earth and open-minded, and he's such a great person to be around, and he's very inspirational to look up to. And in a really weird way, every time I spoke to him before I started my business, it just made me want to start up a business more and more, because like his success energy is just like,
because he knows what it is. Yeah, because he would be a risk taker. Yeah. So he's taking risks. To get the reward.
And it was like kind of spreading, that energy was kind of spreading onto me, and I'm just like, now I just kind of want to like do something. And
because I suppose you've got this problem of that you could work for somebody, but I've recently got, and I'm sure this has been said multiple times, but I've recently heard some stuff where it's like if you're working for somebody, you're working to, Mark said it last week, that he was like, the idea of buying properties over renting them, and saying that when you rent them, you're basically just paying for someone else's holidays. Yeah. And that's the same thing for working with somebody. Now, I'm not saying that working with somebody is a bad thing, because it's comfortable. It's comfortable and you can earn good money, but there's always a ceiling. Yeah, there's always a ceiling to where you can go, unless you, and obviously I salute anybody that is a business owner. I know I've worked for a couple that are highly successful. And the funny thing would be, now being one, is that you would have no idea how the risk they've taken for you to have a salary, and for you to have 20 days holiday a year, and for you to have that stability. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Cool, right. So that's the end of part 2. Let's bring us back really shortly to part 3. Yeah, see you there. Cool. Okay, welcome back to part 3 of the podcast. Epic first 2 parts so far. I hope you agree. My guest is wicked. Well, this is fun. Proper fun, because I'm learning so much, and I know nothing about what you do. You're so out of my wheelhouse, and I love it. Good. Yeah, because obviously that is the hope of this podcast. That I will learn some stuff. Yeah, and obviously it gives you a nice platform to talk about the thing you love.
Yes.
Yeah, you love it, and I can tell.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so let's continue on the theme that we were just talking about off camera. So naturally, we were just talking about the fact that this is a fast-paced environment, and obviously I am that person that if I've got an idea or something needs to happen, I am on it. Yeah, I get it done. and stuff doesn't move. Stuff moves quick, and I get on with it. And because I am driven, and I do think that's probably why we've connected in this way, because actually I can see that in you, and actually that you want to get stuff done, obviously we did just, and I do think this is probably the next step for you maybe, is that naturally we have done some smaller shows lately, and I can tell already that you're above that, in terms of you don't need, what you need to be doing really now is starting to go to the bigger shows, So obviously we've got our network event. Are you doing so the Milky Way?
I actually contacted them, but they've got 2 bars there. But the thing is that I primarily, which I can just advertise there, is to do masterclasses. But because I'm still a bar as well, but I'm cocktails. I'm not just beers and cider and spirits. So you are a completely niche experience, rather than. I shot myself in the foot because at the Torrington Wedding Fair, I was telling this other bar that I was getting friendly with. I was like, oh yeah, go and apply to do the Milky Way, go there, and then I just didn't myself, and then I left it too late, and and I just shot myself. But it's fine because I think it's because I sometimes think about others before myself, and I'm just like, oh yeah, do this, it's really great, and then I don't do that until it's too late.
That's all right. You'll learn. No, absolutely. But I do think that whole idea that you are cooperative with other businesses is in the long term is gonna help you out massively. Because people will start to go, cool, okay, we need this. I get quite a few people that come in here that I had a friend of mine recently, and she came in here actually, and I think she expected me to go, cool, well, I've had a great year, and this is the way to do it, and I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just doing. I do know what I'm doing, if that makes sense, but I'm just going for the ride. I'm not particularly, I haven't got a magic recipe that goes, this is success. And again, like I said, it's all very relative. Like this year's been astounding. Next year's outstanding at the moment. I've got somebody I've got to get back to actually after this. And but next year is still building up. And that's the nature of the beast, that I can't know from time to time, from year to year, how busy it's going to be. But I'm hoping naturally that it just keeps going, and hopefully having this place will just give me a bit more presence. But there are things that need to happen just to make sure that, because I like the idea that I'm hid away, but I need to be more accessible as well, and more visually. You need to be able to see that I'm here a bit more, because obviously I am quite tucked away and hidden away, but by design. So all is good. Cool. So let's tail this off a little bit, shall we? So we can get you out of here. So, because you've got plans this afternoon. What's going on this afternoon?
I am building a kitchen. Funnily enough, I'm also I do really enjoy my building and creating things. Basically, it's safe to say I'm good with my hands, but I'm a practical person, but I do building work as well. So, laying floors, building, I've done a couple van conversions, which I lived in.
Cool.
One of them went on Lad Bible, which was a really great, cool thing to say. I was about to go on Channel 4 Amazing Spaces. They came and recorded with me for the day, and then last minute, they kind of just, they ended up only showing a few seconds. I was meant to have this whole thing, but I think what it was is that I had already finished my they wanted me to wait to convert my van conversion and then record the process. Okay. But I was too eager and I was too driven to stop and wait for them. So I was like, no, I was like, I want to do this. I want to build right now. So I did. And then, and then they were like, well, we can't really put you on kind of thing, but I was just like, that's fine, because I was just too eager to get started, but but yeah, I'm quite proud of those. But I do love building stuff and just kind of going crazy on the whole rusticy kind of. Hence the bar that I've got. I like the whole rusticy stuff mixed in with like vegetation and what have you. But yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, because I've done, most of this in here is me. Yeah. It was not great before I got my hands on it. Yeah. And I'm there. Nice. Obviously the corridor up there is still a work in progress, but in here it's pretty good. Yeah. Again, there's a few things in here that need to change, like the back of there is going to be sorted out so it goes black and not just the wood that is there. Yeah. And I do want to get a few more acoustic boards up just so that the audio is a bit better in here, a bit cleaner. But everything else is all set really and all good. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Nice, man. And any future plans? What's next for you?
So there's a couple things that are in the talks. I don't know if this is actually going to happen yet or not, but I've got a very good friend of mine who he's got some land in South Malton, and that's where the bar lives. And he's been talking with me about doing a kind of extension to Zoho Cocktail Bar and creating a photo booth. So that we're in talks about it at the moment, and we're going to kind of go halves on that kind of arm of it and just call it Zoho Photo Booth. But it's not 100% yet. It's a work in progress, and we're definitely looking at like making this a potential a thing. So that could potentially even go with the bar. Yeah.
All this.
Or both. So yeah, and if it does, again, like the bar, it's going to be a completely different, unique.
It's what Ian Fry does.
Yeah.
You've met.
I've met him once or twice. Twice.
Yeah, you met him at the Hunters, didn't you? Yeah. Oh yeah, because there was an event. You must have gone to the one that I didn't go to. There was one in between those two that I wasn't, because it was my wife's birthday, so I couldn't go. Yeah. So we must have gone to that one as well. Cool. So again, shout out for Ian Fry Photography, good friend of mine, lovely bloke. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and he does. He's a photographer and does a photo booth as well, like a bubble booth. Yeah. So it's clever. It's clever. Yeah. If you can, I've thought about. I shot for a bride this year. Last year. I don't know. I can't remember. Holly, and now she's in the wedding industry, and it's cool actually. She's everywhere. She was only at Clayton's, which is just over there, a couple of weeks ago for one of their nights, and her dad's an engineer, and actually I was going to get him to build me one, but then I was like, and what I'm talking about here is she does a 360 booth. One of those you stand on and it revolves around you. Yeah, wicked. I've got some footage of when I had shot her wedding, and her dad built that for her because he's an engineer. Yeah. Clever bloke. Yeah. Nice guy as well, really super nice guy. And I was like, that is a business. In itself, that is a business. Do it. Yeah. And they have, because I was going to do it, because there isn't, the nearest 360 for here is, I want to say like Taunton way. Oh, is it? So they don't really, they do service this area, but they don't get too much demand. So I was like, there's an opening here, but then I was like, I don't have the ability to do it, because you do really kind of need someone to man it, just because it is a bit of because it's a swinging metal arm. So no, it's good, man. It's a good way to go if you can get it.
Nice. It's all like it's kind of all brainstorming and stuff in that kind of stage at the moment, but hopefully it starts to become a reality.
And obviously we've got our big show in February, which will be wicked. Your first dabble in that, which will be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's a beast. It's a beast. It's going to be good. Be great for you. Yeah, because the footfall's always really good and the venue's amazing. Yeah. I'm hoping that she'll be a guest on here sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting Torstock and meeting the people that work there.
Yeah. They're men. That's 2 podcasts, and they've got mention on both of them now. They must be doing something right. 100%. No, that's cool. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It's been honestly really good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you need a mobile cocktail bar, in any form or fashion from a guy who does it in the way that this guy does. And I'm telling you, if I'm going to put my weight behind somebody, it's going to be someone like this. Yeah, 100%. Not hard to find. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, at all. Wicked, bro. Cool. Here's to the second podcast. A load of fun, and hopefully another beast next week. Absolute pleasure. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Absolutely awesome. Bye, everyone.